How do you feel about my boy going to a 10-finger grip on the tee? Oh, you got like physically sick at that one. He's taking a sip of water.
Foreplay brought to you by Barstool Sports, presented by Chevy, our very good friends at Chevrolet, which we're going to get to. We're live in Missouri, southern Missouri, Branson area, just outside of Branson, I guess, at Big Cedar Lodge. We got a bunch of videos we're filming. We're probably going to put out 5-6 videos from this whole thing. We just got here, so it's still pretty fresh. We played Top of the Rock this morning. We got Paynes Valley, which is behind us in the view from these lovely cameras. If you're watching on YouTube or you're viewing a clip on social media, Paynes Valley, Tiger Woods course behind us. We're getting ready to play. And then we're playing Ozarks National, which is Court Crenshaw tomorrow. We got Mountaintop, which is Gary Player, par 3 track. And then we've got Buffalo Ridge, which is the Foz?
Fazio.
Tom Fazio. So we got a lot of golf coming up. But anyways, gentlemen, how are you? How's everybody feeling?
Very good. Very good.
Happy to be
I was
here.
going to say first time in Missouri, but that's just a lie. I've been to St. Louis.
This is my first time in Missouri.
Playoffs.
Sure.
But definitely the first time seeing
You were there
the
for
landscape.
Blues Bruins for the radio shows?
Yep.
Yeah.
First time seeing the landscape, seeing, the Ozarks for sure, looking for Marty and Wendy Bird. It's the second time I said that. But yeah, no, it's just a really, really nice place.
Missouri's obviously my home state. I lived here for the first 15 years of my life or so, and then I come back here all the time. It's my home state. But Missouri's a little interesting in that sort of the top third of it or so, I guess, is pretty flat.
Dead flat,
like
right?
you would guess, like cornfields, Iowa, that kind of terrain. And then when you get a little bit into the middle southern part of the state, it's very kind of like, I don't want to call it mountainous, but it's hilly. And
definitely hilly.
It's kind of, the Ozark Mountains, they call it. They're not mountains like the Rocky Mountains, but it's very hilly, and you got all kinds of bluffs and peaks and a lot of wildlife and hunting and fishing. And there's like black bears that kind of have seeped their way up even into like southern Missouri, Arkansas area. So it's a lot different than you might guess when you just think.
Yeah, I was telling you guys that the most experience I've had in Missouri is we used to drive right across the border and buy fireworks here.
Yep.
Because it was a 3-hour drive from Cedar Rapids to the Missouri-Iowa border. And Iowa, at the time, fireworks were illegal, which I think they've legalized them since then. But they were illegal when I was a kid, and me and my buddies, we would just drive right across, and they would have warehouses just right over the border. And you could just buy.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, and it's smart. And we would buy our year's worth of fireworks, and we'd cross right over. Sometimes there were cops sitting on the border, but I think they were just trying to scare
I want
us.
to say it's not illegal, right? You can transfer them across state lines. That's not illegal, is it?
I don't know.
Feels illegal.
Feels illegal, you think?
It might be.
Almost so illegal.
Well,
I
if there were
think you
cops
could
there,
get
or something they
arrested
were
for
looking
talking
out for.
about it
This
now.
is my first time in Missouri, and I'm blown away.
Can you get arrested in retrospect of like they can be like, oh, you just admitted to doing that, so they're going to come get
Listen,
you?
if they want to come track me down because me and my buddies bought firecrackers 15 years
You know,
ago.
say 2011.
They
You bought
can-
bigger
they-
than firecrackers. You bought the good stuff.
Yeah, we bought Roman candles. We bought bottle
Yeah.
rockets. We bought firecrackers. We bought.
Roman candle's the big one that shoots them off. Yeah.
It's the you can hold.
Those are.
We
just,
would hold it.
okay,
You could
yeah,
have. You would have Roman candle wars where you'd stand on different sides and
Menaces.
shoot them at each other.
Fireworks huge for us. I got a crazy fireworks story. I got to talk about Chevy first. We love Chevy EVs. I've been noticing a lot of Chevys. You got a Chevy Malibu?
I had a
rental
chance to rent another car that was technically, it might have been like a higher classification, but I said no because I wanted the Chevy Malibu, and I don't regret it 1%.
That's the right decision. That's the right call. From Bolt to Blazer, Equinox to Silverado, Chevy EVs are for everyone everywhere. You might think, old stereotype, that if you're going to get an electric vehicle, an EV, it would be incredibly expensive. You need to be an uber rich human being. Not true.
Not anymore.
Chevy's just the best. It's the absolute best. You see the logo, you know it's American. You know that it's
Chevy.
it's
Like a
We've been
rock.
singing that all morning. Lag. There's a lot of rocks around here, so we've been
Strong
saying
as
lag.
that could
rock.
be.
yeah, it is
Like a
Chevy.
rock.
Yeah, that's a Chevy commercial.
Wow.
You just got that?
Well, we were singing it, and I
Yes.
thought it was another brand. I was thinking, like, we shouldn't really be singing that because we're Chevy guys now.
Chevy, dude.
I didn't know that was that is a Chevy.
Dude, when it
Like
comes
a
over the
rock.
mountain,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
the Silverado's kind of like
a rock.
bumping around.
I
It's
would
just
have
like
joined you guys.
You
if
can
had
join
I
in
known
now.
that.
Going forward.
Okay.
There it is.
No, Chevy's the best, man.
Bob Seger.
Yeah, that's right.
Like a
I actually didn't realize that was.
dude,
Seeger.
it's an album.
really.
Yeah, because I was looking it up on Spotify. I got the itch when we started singing. I was like, I gotta listen to that song. It's so good. And I clicked on Like a Rock, expecting it to just play, and it wouldn't play. And I was like, what's going on? And I looked down, and you have to actually pick Like a Rock from the Like a Rock album, I think.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
Like a rock.
Chevy.
Anyway, Chevy, with an established full line brand like Chevrolet, we can offer multiple EV vehicles with the volume, variety, and the value customers all over the world have come to expect. EVs for everyone everywhere. Thank you, Chevy.
We're also on a patio just in the middle of a restaurant, so if you hear...
We're in a restaurant.
No, you can't hear anything? They can't hear shit, Alex?
Bad boy, Alex Bush.
They can. You know what? You want to know something, though? They can hear us.
Think so?
That's something that's happening for sure.
Yeah, but it's like we're just having a regular lunch
I was gonna
conversation.
say we're having
But I was going to tell you guys how I'm constipated. And
Just
I've
talk
got
at this
all-
volume. I think
Okay.
we're good.
I've been having trouble pooping. It's the first time probably in my adult life.
Have you
Remind me
tried
to
to
come
take
back
any
to my
supplements?
fireworks
No, I
story
haven't.
after.
I would actually like to
Oh,
hear
yeah,
that.
no, go ahead.
Frankie can't get any fireworks
I've got
going.
no firework.
You pay for fireworks right now.
Frankie would stick a firecracker up that thing.
So to put a bow on the fireworks discussion, we're huge fireworks people in Missouri.
Yep.
Which is obviously why my dad loved buying fireworks. That'd be his big time to shine once a year, which is very out of character for my dad. Not a flashy guy.
No.
Drives pickup trucks, likes his farm, likes to hunt and fish. The whole thing. Fixes teeth. Fireworks, for whatever reason, he fucking loves fireworks.
I get it.
Every year, we would usually go down actually to Table Rock Lake, which is this lake that we're on here. We would go to kind of the southern, actually the Arkansas side of it, to Holiday Island. They had a nice beach, and we'd shoot off fireworks. One year, we just did it. We lived in a cul-de-sac, 4 or 5 homes in the circle. And we would go out with the neighbors. There were a couple neighbors that were still in town, in the middle of the cul-de-sac, and fire off the fireworks.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. We started to build a little bit of a crowd. People see this is going on. Again, my dad gets enough fireworks that it was a
Fireworks
scene.
guys, yeah.
And my brother, who was in probably college maybe at the time, his buddies, a couple of his buddies were over. Anyways, we get to the finale. And the finale is like a 30 firework deal that you light the candle and then it boom, boom, everybody goes crazy. It's really fun. Well, I think, I want to believe we were shooting them off a bucket. Okay? And you do it for the bucket.
Like a flipped over bucket?
Yep.
Okay.
And you do it for the bucket for, so you don't put all kinds of issues and whatever on the actual street forever.
They don't burn the
in the middle of the
ground.
street
makes
and all that.
sense.
So you shoot off a bucket. Well, the thing malfunctions and falls off the bucket.
Oh, no.
And now it's shooting missiles sideways
Chaos.
into homes.
Oh, my God.
On the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people start like screaming.
That's a war zone. That's legitimately
That is a war zone.
The thing is shooting fireworks at homes.
Katusha rocket.
So my dad sprints into the garage and fires up the hose because
Okay.
this thing's still shooting. People are ducking for cover, diving behind bushes. Shoots one into the bushes in front of my home that are super. I mean, it's fucking July in Missouri.
Right.
Super burned out
Yeah.
bushes. So
Major
now
fire
we've
hazard.
got flames, 2-story home.
Oh, my God.
Not to brag. And the flames are flying over the house. They're so high.
What?
To the point where one of my brother's buddies had actually heroically come down like the hill behind, and I think he actually got to the hose first. And so we got a couple people with hoses trying to put this out. It burnt and syringed the what are netted
Sidings?
windows called?
Oh.
Screened in.
Screened in the screen on the windows.
Yeah.
On the second floor and first floor, it burned those. That's how close our home was to burn.
Was this like a special occasion or just like a Saturday?
4th of July, baby.
Oh, 4th of July.
Oh yeah,
Got it.
sorry, 4th of July.
Okay.
Yeah.
that was
So
his
it was a
big
show.
time. To
It was a
shine.
show.
It was a fucking show. He
And
put
the
on a show.
the show took a
turned into
terrible
a
turn.
horror story. I mean, firing missiles at homes in the cul-de-sac.
That's a disaster.
And just one another, one after the other, just into the Bligginsworth house. Into it was just
Not the Johnsons.
Boom! Everyone's like, "Oh, this is amazing." It was almost like you couldn't tell it was part of the show at first. You're
Right.
like, this seems like a problem. It was
The
fucking
neighbors have a much different telling of this story. You know what I mean?
Horrifying.
Yeah, it's horror. It's a horror show. Is what the other side of it
Dude,
is.
it was
Fireworks are fun, man.
And we were kids. We were hiding behind the pole, being like, "This is great."
Too many negative stories about fireworks. So
Well, I feel like Jason Pierre-Paul didn't
scared
do
the shit
very
out of the
well
country.
for the firework industry.
Who was it? Columbus Blue Jackets goalie.
Died.
Last year died.
Died?
bro.
Oh, I don't remember
22 years old. And got hit right in the chest. So he was sitting in a hot tub.
I'm with you. I don't share my
And
father's
the starting
sentiment.
goalie was
Oh, I
with
feel
him.
bad now.
The starting goalie was with
yeah,
him in
it's
the
horrible.
hot tub, and he got out of the way.
He was the backup.
Yeah, young rookie.
Hit him right in the heart, right?
Yeah,
right in the chest.
heart, and just killed him.
Fireworks are scary. There's no. I mean,
It's
you're
just
literally
like
shooting
all
off
that happened was like it was
Yeah.
4th of July.
I'm not a
and
big
it just
fireworks
like
guy.
turned over and just shot right at him.
That's
He
obviously
died on the 4th of July.
incredibly unfortunate.
No, it's horrible. But it's the point being that obviously you're right that it was a horror show. It's scary. It's very
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 scary.
scary when it comes to fireworks.
It's part of it, though,
So
isn't
the
it?
fact that it was illegal makes sense. I mean, you're allowing average citizens that are probably having some drinks
For sure.
to
Right.
just shoot off explosives.
Yeah.
That's. I mean.
Yeah, we used to do it.
Seems like an open and closed case. Illegal.
We used to do it until the cops would show up. We would it'd be fun to do a bunch of them and then be like, cops will be here in like 10 minutes, and we would just watch them go by.
I get super scared still when we shoot. I don't go anywhere near it.
No, I don't go anywhere
I get
near
really,
them.
really
The
worried
problem
about
is you don't have to be near them, and they're still dangerous. I'm not a big fireworks guy. I like to see professional fireworks.
That's what I'm saying. I'm good for like the show, you know.
Oh yeah,
but
nothing better.
But
Go to
but
Borelli's, you go on the
homemade-
roof, you watch them at Eisenhower Park, and then you go back down. You have your drinks. I don't need to be setting.
You ever
that shit
seen
up.
some of the videos of when those massive fireworks shows
Crazy.
go wrong?
No.
Yeah.
Oh my
Shit
god!
catches on fire and
boats or
stuff.
The
whatever.
boats. They
Boats
usually got like
explode.
a barge full of them, and something goes wrong out there, and people are diving off. They're exploding.
They're explosives.
It's giant.
They're explosives.
You have a
They're
barge full of
they're
explosives
contained
that you're
explosives.
purposely exploding.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd light a firework right now.
I like fireworks, but I just get too scared of
They're
them.
fun. I'm not saying that like I'm a tough guy. I just think they're fun.
Well, the
They are
danger
fun.
is definitely part of it.
Of course.
You know what I mean? That's part of the rush. Is the adrenaline of like this could go horribly wrong.
Plus, I'm just a pretty clumsy person in general.
Yeah.
So now you're clumsy with something.
Oh.
If I'm clumsy with a golf club or something and I hit myself in the shin, it's like, oh, that hurt, whatever. I'm talking about explosives, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We said that we have Alfonso Ribeiro on the show today. We said that.
No, we're about to say it.
Just now. Happened just now.
I wasn't there for it. Was he amazing? Like
He was
always is?
amazing. And honestly, like at one point, I say, does anyone understand the comedy and the fact that Alfonso Ribeiro, Carlton from The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, is like the greatest swing coach on the planet? I don't understand why we just act like that's a normal thing. Like we listen to him. He gives breakdowns on the take back, the follow through, where your hip should be at impact, where your head should be, the angle. He's giving us tips on like what drills to be practicing. This is Alfonso Ribeiro.
He's great.
You know
Very
what I mean?
passionate.
He's the
about it.
fucking host of America's Funniest Videos. And
Super
the co-host
analytical man.
Of
Dancing with the
Dancing
Stars.
with the Stars. And then we're just listening to... He's an amazing golf mind. One of the best in the country.
I think he plays golf. Sorry, I think he plays golf at Lakeside in LA, which is like the coolest place in the world. It's like where all the celebrities
he
hang
was
out.
talking about Lakeside.
It's like I've played at Lakeside a few times, and it's on Friday afternoons. They'll play in six sums, and everyone's just out there drinking and boozing.
So in this podcast, he actually says that when he's playing a place like Tahoe and he's like kind of nervous, he thinks about being on like the 6th hole at Lakeside. He kept saying like the 6th hole Lakeside.
Is that right?
Easy 7 iron.
Six
I can't-
Comfort
hole at
place?
Lakeside.
6 or 7. He could. He kept like going back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, he did say
But
that.
whatever, yeah, he was basically saying like that's just my comfort spot. I can just envision it. And then when he
That's what
said,
you were doing today.
that's what I was doing.
You were
today.
the
going
range.
on the range, about to have a good day with the boys.
Yeah.
We're on like the 8th hole.
I just can't hit the ball. I can't hit the ball when I don't go to the range. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how anyone listening to this can just step up and just play golf without warming up.
We
It's
didn't
just
get to hit
psychotic.
balls before, and Frankie's on like the 8th hole, and he's like, "You're having a really solid range session. Range session's
Well, because
going really
we played
well."
a par 3 course. We're here at the top of the rock, and like by the 8th hole,
Trent
I'd
looks at
only
me and he
hit.
goes, "We're just dealing with a
By the
lunatic
8th hole, I'd
here."
only hit like 7 irons, and then all of them are different clubs. So it's like each club I hit once. I'm just not warmed up. It's a very hard thing to do to just go out there and just perform. I mean, Riggs played phenomenally.
It was impressive. You finished
Played well today.
I think a couple under the last few holes. Mm-hmm. It was good.
Yeah, I had a good run today.
Great save on 9.
Look, I'm coming off a bad performance at Myrtle Beach. Not going to give anything away. It's not out yet, but I was embarrassed. When you're on camera and you can't find it, it stinks.
Yeah,
It was
sucks.
bad.
So I needed to have a good performance. We're only one round in. 9 holes, really.
Par
and
3.
just iron. So still a lot of golf to be played, but I'm feeling good. We got some mojo.
I feel like this is a good track for you to get the driver straightened out too, because you said it's wide as hell.
Big time. You can
Yeah.
hit it anywhere.
So we're playing Paynes Valley today.
Yep.
Tiger Woods.
You
Ever
guys
heard
see
of him?
this green behind you back here? Can you see that, Frank? That
Yeah.
one with that one's really cool.
Yeah.
That hole, but most of them are not like that. That one has a lot of
That
water.
green's incredible. Is
That's
that a
like
par 4?
It's a short par 3
Par
and
3.
mid range, like 150, 160. Man.
That's an incredible hole.
really, really good.
I'm
hole.
excited. We watched this hole on the match a couple years ago with
Yeah.
JT and Tiger and Justin. I think Rory was there as well.
And Rory.
was.
That was when
And,
Rory and JT had the dominoes conversation.
Oh, right.
Very
yeah,
funny
where,
video.
where Rory was hyping up dominoes. Yeah, I mean, anytime Tiger Woods' name is on something, I think it's pretty significant. And to plug my old employer, Golf Digest, I believe this won the Golf Digest Best New Public Course last year. So
It deserves it.
I,
It's
think they spent
fantastic.
like $10 billion.
I think that's the number. I think it was 10 billion.
Is that actually true?
It's got to be up there, though.
Bro, I
Like,
asked
that's
someone that
more
worked
than
here. I
the
said, how
GDP
much,
of several
Yeah, I don't know.
governments.
how
Missouri.
much did it cost to build this? And the guy said billions
With an S, you said.
with an S. Because, I mean, the money is endless when you think about it. These rocks, these boulders, like, they're just bringing stuff in. The grass is immaculate. The landscape, I mean, the amount of land that they own out here is just forever.
It's forever.
And, I mean, all the amenities are insane.
Mr.
The
Morris.
bars are ridiculous. The restaurants are
Johnny
insane.
Morris. You guys are. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. We're just getting a taste. We haven't even
Yeah.
really seen it. You're kind of just looking around. But it's Big Cedar Lodge. So I used to vacation here when we were younger. We came to Big Cedar Lodge a couple times, but it was known as like this. It was like above us. Like
Really?
Big Cedar Lodge. It's
Yeah.
like, we can't
Cream of
we
the
would-
crop.
We would maybe like once every 5 years when we did our trip to the southern part. we would like swing by here maybe on the way home or something, and we would maybe do dinner. But we couldn't like stay at the lodge. I mean, I think like one time we got to stay at the lodge, and we were like, "Ooh!" And you know, it's almost like Jurassic Park. It was like you would drive through. They have like I think we'll see it if we go to the main lodge. I think they still have it. But you literally, even as a normal civilian car, you would drive through a stream.
A what?
A stream.
Oh, wow.
Would go across the road, but it was like
very shallow.
It was so shallow, but it was a real stream.
That's
There'd be
cool.
like a little tiny, kind of waterfall-y, like spring to your right, and then it would dribble across the road, and you would have to slow down and drive across, and we'd be like, ooh, and they had the
Very
really cool
nice.
mini golf course. It was unbelievable. So we would vacation here a lot. In the last, 8-10 years, even less really, they've put a bunch of effort into expanding this as kind of a golf destination, and I think bringing Tiger Woods is clearly a big part of that.
Phenomenal.
So we're going to play the Tiger Woods course afternoon. We got to talk about Curve real quick. Whether it's a new set of clubs, new golf trip, sweatshirt from the pro shop, even a drink at the turn, whatever you're buying. If you're using a card for any purchase, big or small, you need Curve. Here's the deal with Curve. I'm going to put the ad read down right now. Curve allows you to hold one card in your wallet. You have to have a Trent Ryan Costanza wallet.
I don't have that anymore. Although I did, we got back from some trip recently, and I realized that I'd kept the key cards in there for a couple of days from the
Old
hotel.
habit.
I threw them out.
Good.
I threw them out.
Good.
I'm guessing
That
you
had to be
a wallet
hard.
back in the day. That was like a crazy.
Not back in the day is
Like a month ago?
It was about a month ago, and I would keep I would keep all the hotel key cards in my wallet
is
because
this
at a
thick?
certain point, it gets stretched out, and you have to have cards.
Right,
in there.
otherwise it's too.
Because if I
loose.
took out all the hotel cards
man.
at a certain
Sleeve of
point,
a wizard.
it's just
sleeve of wizard. You really fucked up your wallet.
I know, but now I've got a better one, and Curve is perfect for it.
So was this a drawn-out dramatic moment like in some movies when the alcoholic is standing there with like the beers
Pours
over
it out
the sink and
slowly.
he can't quite pour it out, then he eventually does?
My wallet just broke.
Yeah, but when you threw the key
You need
cards
that.
away.
You need,
Oh, this last time?
Yeah.
I felt good about it. I felt
Okay,
like I was
all right.
making progress.
You need
Okay.
to be like Johnny Cash and what's her name, June, where she's like dumping all his pills in the toilet, and he's like, "Where are my pills, June? You're like, Where are my key cards, June?
Where are those key cards at? My wallet needs
Where's
them.
my key cards
Don't get in
at?
the way of me and my room
doctor
keys.
prescribed those for me. I need those. I need those key cards.
I'm just buying like blank key cards off Amazon.
You don't understand what those key cards do for me.
Yeah, it's like Get Him to the Greek when Russell Brand just freaks out at Jonah Hill. He's like, it's not a fucking joke.
So Curve combines all your cards into one. You can even select certain types of purchases to be done by a card within your Curve cards. You sync all the other credit cards that you have. If you have an airline one, or you got one that's good for Chipotle or whatever it is, you can sync them all up, and then you'll get the rewards from each card specifically, and then you'll also get Curve rewards. So it's a no-brainer. Make sure you go to curve.com/barstool to receive $20 off in Curve cash. $20 in Curve cash once you've downloaded the app, opened an account, and made a first transaction. That's curve.com/barstool to receive $20 in Curve cash. Terms and conditions apply. Curve.com/barstool. So what's going on with your body, Frank?
I just can't shit, but that's not the real story here. The real
Okay.
story is I watched this documentary called A Trip to Infinity.
Oh, that's right.
Boys and girls listening. If I have to recommend one piece of entertainment for you to go home and watch, it's going to be a little boring in the beginning. And then you're going to get to this. It's called A Trip to Infinity. It's on Netflix. It's going to be a little bit boring in the beginning. You're going to be like, who are these nerds talking about the number infinity and what the concept of infinity is? It kind of catches your attention because you're like...
I stopped
guess-
on it briefly when I was
guess
scrolling
infinity
Netflix.
is a very unique and interesting thing to think about.
Hard to
where
wrap
it's
your
like-
head around.
because like mathematicians can't actually prove that infinity is what it is. They don't understand. You can't mathematically say like infinity is this because they actually show like if you have like infinity plus 1 should equal infinity, but if you take away the infinity and then the equals, like 1 equals 0, so they're saying it's impossible. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like if you do a math equation, and you
logically,
add-
it's very hard
Logically,
to
it makes
prove.
no sense.
Yeah.
So as you're watching this documentary, you're like, all right, infinity. They give you this really cool model on the Infinity Hotel. This guy describes the Infinity Hotel basically being like, if there's a hotel called the Infinity Hotel and it goes on forever and someone wants to check into it, what happens? You can't go to the top. So basically they have to have every person in the room go
Moves
from
up.
1 to 2, 2 to
Yeah.
3, 3 to 4, and then someone comes in. That's how they basically gauge what infinity is. You go from the beginning to the end. Not
Okay.
the
I
end
feel like
to
it
the
doesn't really bring us any closer.
it doesn't bring you any closer. You don't know where it ends because it doesn't end. But does it end? So the whole question of this documentary is, does the universe go on forever? Everyone keeps saying it's infinite, but does it?
Yeah.
So there's this one part, and you should have to watch this because this is fucking Frankie Borelli talking about. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just a viewer that watched it once.
Half the show is Frankie Borelli reviews on
Right.
things and recaps.
and we have no idea what the fuck we're talking
And
about.
it's not going to ruin it because it's not really getting the
Yeah,
point.
that's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. Like,
Couldn't ruin it if you tried.
it's not a spoiler because you're just gonna fucking watch it. It's gonna be different. But basically, you're gonna get to this part where they talk
Guys
about
watching,
a
he's
box.
like, he didn't say anything about it.
Not what he talked about.
They talk about a box, and he goes, "Think about a box." And this is where my life changed. My life changed the other night. I'll never.
Your life
think
changes
the same.
frequently.
I'll never think the same after this. We've done a lot of talking about like simulation theory and all this shit. Essentially, he was saying like if you put an apple in a perfect box, it's got no openings in it. It's just a box that's going to stay there forever. And you put an apple inside. They basically show this simulation of what would happen to the apple over a year, over 2 years, over 10 years, over 100,000 years, over 1 billion years. The apple decays, it turns into nothing, but then there's all these protons and neutrons, and after billions of years, it's experienced every life form of itself. Like all of these neutrons and electrons and protons are like firing, and it essentially looks like a solar system in there. You know what I'm saying? Like this piece of life form has now expanded into all these different things. And their argument is essentially like, if that is what's happening in that box, it's like experiencing all these different things. It's changing constantly, but it's still the apple. They're basically saying that like we could be in that box, and there could be other versions of boxes where we're just changing, even though it's the same atom. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There could be apples in a million different boxes, infinite apples in infinite boxes, and they're all changing, but they're all the same.
I would say there most likely are.
So there could be legitimately a Frankie Borelli at Big Cedar wearing a blue shirt. And there could be a Frankie Borelli at Big Cedar wearing a yellow shirt that has like a frog
and you're
for
standing
hands.
and you're standing on your head.
And you're standing on your head. You understand? Because like this apple went through all these transformations.
You have to mansplain to me, but yeah, I got it.
Right.
Yeah.
This
was
apple
just
went through
joking
all
'cause of
these.
the-
Because of Liz Gonzalez?
Yeah. You
I
said
didn't
you
mansplain
understand,
her.
which was funny.
Yeah. But see, that's my argument with Liz Gonzalez. That's how I talk. I wasn't actually.
I agree. That had nothing to do with
It was
her.
like- it was
she get
like,
mad
you
at you for
understand?
mansplaining something?
It was the Yankees Red Sox. The Yankees won.
Oh, do
the
I
Yankees
get
lost.
that?
The
Dave
Yankees
didn't do you any
lost.
favors either. Dave goes.
No, the Yankees lost in it was the ALCS or the ALDS.
I don't remember.
I think it was ALDS. It was the first round, and the Yankees lost to the Red Sox. And then she did this viral video of her saying, "I'm going to go to sleep with my 27 rings if that's okay," something like that. And it went viral. And at the time in the old office, it was just like every group had to survive on its own,
Band together.
because you're banding together as Yankee fans against an office of maybe 25 people. That's all that was in there.
Yeah.
And they're all Red Sox fans.
Right.
Every single one of them are like
Right.
these asshole diehard Red Sox fans. So it's like we have this Yankee fan that just went viral for the worst take of all time,
It was
in my
Gas,
opinion.
Feidelberg, Dave, fucking everybody.
Like, we don't say
Oh.
27 rings. That's legitimately that's like what you don't say. That's what
like
everyone.
a parody of Yankee
It's a parody
fans.
of Yankee
That's right.
fans.
Yeah.
So then we're arguing on the rundown, and I'm like, I finally said at one point, I'm like, I was like, the Red Sox are in a better place than the Yankees today. You get that, right?
Oh, God.
And she goes, "Oh, do I get that?" And the whole place went, "Oh,
You can-
no!" And I screamed as loud.
Yeah, I
as
remember
could.
being on my laptop and being like, oh.
I tried to take it back.
wow.
I
Did she say mansplain?
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
If you watch the clip, and I don't know if we can find it, if you can put the audio in, but if visually watching it is the best because former employee Jared Carabas just books. He
Yeah,
just
ran.
he just gets off screen as fast
And
as
I
he can.
apologize to Liz. I just didn't mean to say it. That way.
I mean, like, no one's saying, when your team loses, you don't be like, I want to become a Red Sox fan. We're just saying, like, they're in a better spot than us. Do you get that?
Oh, do I get that?
Like,
Are you mansplaining that we
that's not
another game, Frankie?
That's not
You mean there's not another game? The season's over?
No, I meant like.
Tell me.
That's man's.
What's next?
The great part too is Dave's facial expression goes perfectly in timing with everything else. So like the minute that you say it, he starts to go like,
goes,
"Oh no,"
"Oh."
face, and then as soon as Liz goes, "Did you just?" So Dave starts to go, "Yep."
And at
he
the
could
time,
sense
I'm
it
Dave's
coming. He
fucking
wanted it.
pizza guy. So like for me, that's the first time I was in real controversy and like
Yeah.
a Barstool story, and Dave loved it because he's like,
yeah.
"Oh my god, my guy's getting into something now." So yeah, but moral of the story is. And I probably butchered like the whole apple and like why there's multiple
No, I
boxes.
get
There's
it.
a reason why there's multiple boxes. I can't remember that. You know what I mean?
I got to be honest. I don't think I
You don't get
quite
it.
understand. It's okay. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
I'm
You're gonna watch it.
too.
You have to watch it and see what you
like
say.
an hour and a half.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
that.
I
Just get to the box part. Everything else
get to the
is-
box part.
Hey,
What's in the box?
That's what she said.
Yeah, just gotta
I've
get to
been
the box.
I want to throw in a quick referral that you
Get
gave
to
to
the
me,
box.
Riggs.
Get to
Was
the
I've
box
been
part.
Get to the
crushing
box.
those Roman Empire.
So
episodes.
good, right?
It's so good.
So you and I,
There's titties in that,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
which is stunning.
Commodus likes titties.
Like
a
they
lot.
can't show that. I was
Yeah,
like,
so
oh,
does
this
Caligula.
is when I first I watched
Sick
two
fuck.
episodes. It's really good.
Yeah.
Marcus
liked it too?
Aurelius. Yeah, I mean,
Let's
like now
go.
I'm starting to know names of
Yeah.
history. Like Marcus Aurelius is that his name?
Yeah,
That's
that's
Commodus' father.
Commodus'
Meditations.
father, and he was like a fucking war guy, and he
yeah,
wanted
stoic.
Commodus to like come in and become like a warrior, and he was a little bitch boy fucking all his titties and shit.
Yeah.
He was a
So
fuck boy.
essentially, what I first thought was, wow, this would be an amazing thing for a social studies teacher to show in school, right? Like, what an amazing form.
They do a
of,
great
like,
job.
Yeah, it's amazing because you're learning everything, and it's really visually cool. It's like Game of Thrones. I mean,
I don't
there's
know, I
drone
feel-
shots, there's animations, and then all of a sudden, there's like titty fucking in it. So I was just
I don't know
like,
if there was actual titty.
no,
fucking.
there wasn't titty
It
fucking,
was
but like
just titties.
there was titty and fucking.
I feel like if you're a social studies
yeah.
teacher, it makes you a bit redundant, though. I don't think I would show that because that's the stuff that you want to tell your kids.
Yeah, but you're just,
You
if
just
you know you're not
can't.
good at it, you know, or you just don't
You're
want to be
just
that
a sad
guy. at it.
life.
I made
It is really
through-
good. 'cause
My point is they can't show it in school, which is just a bummer because it's really good.
Yeah.
So Trent came up to me a couple weeks ago, and we were somewhere. I can't remember. We were all over the fucking place. And you were like, I started Roman Empire. It's really good. And one of the keys that you said at the time, which I think is a really crucial part, is that they do film it in such a unique way, or they produce it, I guess, which is it's a show. Like it's a fiction, but
Dramatized.
based fully on nonfiction with nonfiction interviews.
Yeah.
Right,
that are like
there's-
real nonfiction.
It's like reenactments.
Experts. It is
Kind of,
reenactments,
right.
experts, but the reenactment is good.
Yeah,
And it's
the
good.
acting is better than you expect.
Right,
Yes.
that- which is what I said to Riggs, where you'll see people try to do this with a different type of show, and the acting is horrific.
Yeah, it's like a little.
And it
it's like
takes you out of
the.
it.
It's like the drama of the porn scenes. You're
And
like,
I-
just get it over with.
Right.
And what I really like about them plugging in the,
I like the drama in the porn scenes actually.
yeah, me too. What I do
I'm a
like,
big plot guy.
but you always fast forward through it a little bit. no?
You always fast forward to like
I watch it
2:30.
all.
Once I get the gist,
Like
I want to know
2:45.
context. I want to know where'd they just come from.
Okay.
Or if the
You
guy
know?
comes in with a pizza, you really don't know the fucking context.
I want to know how long did it take to make that
What
pizza.
kind of pizza is it?
What kind of pizza is it? Is he arguing
What do
with
you
someone?
think you have?
Like, who does he have at home? The whole thing.
She like mad at her boyfriend.
Exactly. I want to know it all.
Jesus.
Huge context guy. If I don't see context,
Never
I'm out.
saying porn again on this podcast.
I'm out. We are
Yeah,
in the middle of
good
a
luck.
restaurant, by the way, and we're like, oh yeah, the people are just eating.
So I've watched all of Commodus, and
I
I've
said titty
watched
fucking loud before.
like I've watched like 5 episodes.
I said titty fucking really loud before. 3 times. Did we get eyeballs?
Alex had to turn the decibels down. You were screaming.
John Kelly said yes. We got eyeballs.
Oh, we
I
did?
completely forgot.
It's all right.
I just
It's okay. We're young. We're like the young
Show.
cowboys.
We're doing the show. We
forgot
gotta
my
do the show.
We're doing the show.
The show's
I
more
can't be
important than
saying
people's
that, dude.
fucking lunch. Who cares?
It's fine.
They eat lunch every day.
I can't be saying that.
Literally every day they eat
I
lunch.
just, I don't know.
We only do this twice a week.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Roman Empire.
What I love about them mixing in the interviews is that sometimes when they do the reenactments like that, you get lost in believing that it's really that real. You think like, oh, they're starting to veer a little bit, and those fucking interviews bring you right back to
Yep.
like they tell you how it is, and you're like, this is real. I'm watching real stuff.
Those
I also
historians
love-
in that show get off to
they love
Roman,
it.
to Roman history.
Think about how specific their study
I know.
is.
Oh, that's
I
what they've been
know.
doing their whole lives.
Right.
True.
And,
And
in the Trip to Infinity, waiting to see these mathematicians talk about the.
Oh,
like,
they've
the
been waiting
concept
for the
of
Netflix
infinity.
glow up for all time.
They-
I mean,
they
this is- they've
chuckle
been the
as they
biggest
talk
nerds
about it.
ever.
He's
Now
like,
they're on Netflix.
Let me tell you about the Infinity Hotel. I've been thinking about this for years. It's like, holy shit.
I also love in the show how the Roman experts are not afraid to say that they don't know, which I think is nice.
Yeah, true.
They were talking about why did Marcus Aurelius pick Commodus? Why was this guy who had such incredible judgment? Why did he believe that his screw up son was going to be a good emperor? And all the experts are like, I don't know.
We don't know.
So
Well,
he was
we'll
the
never have an
first one to
explanation.
say, like, it's just going to be my son
My son.
regardless.
Yeah, he
First
was
one
the
in a while.
I
Okay.
think, yeah,
I
it
think
was-
the first one in a long time, maybe ever, because
Okay.
like
they would adopt people that they thought were going to be good emperors, and so technically be their son, but it wasn't their born son.
Yeah, they would basically do it more on merit.
Yeah.
Which is actually interesting. Something that made the Mongol Empire, like 1,200 years later, so unbelievably powerful was that they would actually, when they took over other armies, they would keep a lot of their generals that they actually captured, that they had respect for, that fought till the death. They would keep them alive and then basically nurture them and mold them into their own army. So they
Right.
found
Did you
people
listen
that
to
were
that podcast,
unbelievably impressive.
Hardcore
Hardcore History,
History?
Dan Carlin?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. But anyways, that was like the first. I think they went through, the way I understand it. I don't know. I've watched a lot of the same shit you guys have watched at this point. The way I understand it, the empire went through different kind of like phases. And the phase leading up to Marcus Aurelius is considered one of the better emperors of all time, was that it was merit based, and they would adopt people based on who was good, all that. And then he, for whatever reason, was obsessed with like, no, my son Commodus is going to be the guy.
Yeah.
And then when he died and Commodus took over, it was no bueno.
It was a shit show.
Guy sucked. And then the Caligula one. Have you watched that one yet?
No,
Trent?
I'm like 80% through Caesar.
I will say the Caligula one, and we all have our Caligula is like a pretty oft referenced, just like kind of like disgusting, like degenerate,
Yeah.
Bad guy.
Yep.
They do. You can tell now that we're in a little bit of a new era in the last 5-10 years, because they now paint the full picture of like his childhood traumas that happened to him as a child,
Not just shitting on him.
right? And how that like led to almost like, of course, he was going to be a messed up person.
That's what I liked about Commodus, because when you think about Commodus before watching that, you
Yeah.
think about Gladiator, the movie, and you're like, this guy is just pure evil,
Yep.
piece of shit. And then you find out, like, Commodus, like, there were moments throughout his reign where he tried to figure it out, and it just didn't work out. The Senate was fucking with him, and he just, at a certain point, he's like, I give up.
So totally, and it's you're right, because we live in such a headline culture that
Right.
you just kind of get a headline about a person, even though they lived 2,000 years ago, and you're like, that person sucked. Whereas the Caligula one, he did suck, but they talk a lot about like his dad was the most cherished general and basically considered who was going to be most likely the successor to the throne, and then like was just killed out of the clouds, and his dad was basically
battle?
grooming him. No, like he was basically
Murdered.
They think he was probably poisoned or whatever. And he then, Caligula, was like separated from his sisters and his mother ended up having to go into exile because she was super powerful. And whoever killed his father, who was most likely the emperor at the time, whoever killed his father was very paranoid that the mother was going to become super powerful. So she was put in exile and then killed.
Right.
And so he literally was like raised with this horrific trauma, and then he had to spend 6 years on this fucking island with the shitty emperor at the time, who basically had him on house arrest and was showing him all these horrific things, and then he takes over. And in his first like 6 or 7 months, he actually was like phenomenal, like doing
Right.
really well. And then he goes through, they think he has like a stroke or a brain fog or something, and then when he comes back from that, he's like the worst person ever. He literally would invite senators over to dinner parties and stuff, and then like steal their wives and go bang their wives and stuff, like to prove his power. Like he was a psychopath.
Yeah, that's
I don't like thinking about that.
You start to realize, like,
Psychopath.
there's always more to the story. It's never just like, this person's pure evil, and they've always been that way.
But you can tell they've clearly implemented a lot more into understanding like psychology,
Yeah.
and more sympathizing the
Upbringing,
brain and
yeah.
things like that, and what happens to the brain over traumatic experiences, and they apply that more to the Caligula one and to the Commodus one, which
Yeah.
paints a lot better picture, I feel like, of their whole.
I agree. It's great. It's just literally called Roman Empire.
I'm
on
laughing
Netflix.
Can't
so
miss it.
hard while you guys are talking about this. Are you talking about something right now?
I'm going
Before I
to
get to
talk
it?
about Tommy John. You wanna
Okay, talk about Tommy John,
I'm wearing
yeah.
Tommy John right now.
So am I.
Me
It's
too.
keeping everything nice and tight while I'm dealing with this bum issue that I got going on.
Speaking of that, here's how Tommy John starts. Fall is chaos in your pants.
That's right.
Yeah, I think
true,
that's
man.
true. A lot of wings, a lot of beer.
share a
You're
bunch.
overheating 1 second, freezing the next.
Are you a like a maple syrup and then cinnamon around the rim pumpkin beer guy?
Yep,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same way with my margaritas too.
That's right. But that just reminds me of fall, but it also just creates chaos in your pants. Like you're just drinking these really, really just heavy pumpkin fall beers. You've got all this syrup and sugar, and then you sit down after like drinking 6 of those, watching football Sunday, and you're like, "Brr."
What kind of what's that special kind of salt they put on spicy margs around the rim?
Tagine?
That might be it. I think that's right. It's phenomenal.
Tagine is great.
Mess in your pants though. Thank God for Tommy John. We got to get you some Tommy Johns, Dan.
They're
I
on the
bet you
way.
don't have any
I
yet.
just haven't been home in like a
Really?
month.
They're
yeah.
fantastic.
A lot of things in my apartment that I just don't have because we've been traveling like crazy. But October 7th, we're back.
We're giving people now 20% off their
20?
first order. Code 4. You go to
I'm about to
TommyJohn.com/4. 20%. I'm going to use it tonight.
20%.
20% off.
a lot.
It's a big
TommyJohn.com/4.
percentage.
See site for details. It's TommyJohn.com/4. They're just the best. They got the hammock pouch. Tommy John's literally the only underwear I brought. If you did a lie detector test right now, or if you just went and you just held me captive and said we're going through your stuff, every single pair of probably 15 pair I brought for this trip, just in case you know how many you're going to need, golf trip,
No laundry.
all Tommy John.
Yep, same. Every single pair.
Every single pair. All right. What were you gonna say?
Well,
Frank?
we're talking about Frank the Tank. We were just having lunch, and Frank the Tank has just been going on an absolute rampage today. It's like it's as if he's taking a victory lap because his team failed to win the division, which is very, very funny. But Tommy Smokes, our dear friend Tommy Smokes, tweeted this out that, and I have to read this little passage from Frank the Tank's blog today because it's just making me laugh so hard. And if you're not a baseball fan, obviously the Mets had like a 10.5 game lead in the division.
It was like a month or two ago.
In August or July.
Braves caught them.
And the Braves caught them. They had a do or die series to win the division this week against the Braves, and they got swept.
Mets got swept.
So Frank the Tank, obviously a cartoon character at the office who's like the best at stirring the pot with the Mets, wrote this blog, and Tommy writes, the matter-of-fact tone in which this is written, as if it's simple reporting of facts, is amazing. So listen to what Frank wrote. The Mets did not get any clutch hitting, and their pitching failed, as Jacob deGrom, likely making his final start with the Mets, struggled on Friday, while Max Scherzer failed on Saturday. Chris Bassett got the start on Sunday and did not do better, as the Braves dominated the series, setting the Mets franchise back to mediocrity, as they will be swept by the Padres in the wild card and will not make the playoffs again for several years. With every major free agent, including DeGrom, Bassett, and Edwin Diaz leaving for better teams and better chances to win, as the Mets will never compete for a World Series ever again after this disaster in Atlanta.
He's painting this is his masterpiece.
He went full Big J for the first like 2 paragraphs, and then he
someone said,
started to inject some opinion.
Someone said, imagine a local news anchor reading this in a monotone, matter-of-fact way. Yeah. I mean, he's
the Mets
talking
will
about
never
just
win
absolute
ever again.
disaster
All
for
the
the
free agents will leave, and it'll be a disaster.
Speaking of like Dan Carlin and hardcore history, there's like a certain Greek, it's like the Lacedaemonians or something like that are known for this type of writing. Whereas like when you look at the Athenians or the Spartans in a certain way, like they would write with color in their philosophers.
Yeah.
And I think it's the Lacedaemonians who literally would write like
the army was eviscerated.
Like, army was big, defeated other armies.
Get on with it. Just get on with it.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's so good.
It's next level comedy writing.
It is. It's like so good comedy writing. So I played in a big golf match on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh yeah.
My partner was Max Homa.
Wow.
Who's maybe the hottest golfer in the world right now.
Really good looking.
Or at least up there. He's won 5 times in the last couple of years. 4-0 at the President's Cup. He won the week before, the whole shebang. We played against Colt Nose and Joe Griner, who's Max's caddy. Joe Griner's a really good player. He's probably a +3, I think he is. Jesus. Lost in the semifinals at the USGA 4-ball at Chambers Bay, which was last year.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and that was when Bones caddied for Max during the PGA Championship because Joe had made a deal with Max that if he made it to
Mid-Am.
USGA
4-ball
finals, he could play. So he's a really good player. Colt Nose, who I spend a lot of time out in Scottsdale, and he's a chirp box. That's all he does is chirp. We love him when you see him. Subpar, go check those guys out if you haven't. Him and Sleaze do a great job. But Colt, he's as chirpy as it gets. The first time we ever had him on the show was when he had been chirping about like Lurch with the whole Bud Cauley thing, and then Frankie, and he just loves to chirp. I have to say, Colt won the U.S. Amateur in like 2007 or whatever that was. Colt's game is so good, but he's also he's the only really, really, really good player I've ever played with that he almost inspires you, because if you're like, if he can do this,
yeah,
I can do this.
Right. Makes it look easy. Makes it look simple.
Yes, he literally hits it like 260 down, dead straight down the middle every time. Hits it right at the flag or right where he's aiming every time, and putts it phenomenally.
That's a good.
We played
good
7,200
formula.
yards, and it was soft out there, but it's in the desert, so it probably evened out to about playing the yardage. He shot 4 under 68 from 7,200 yards, like no problem.
Yeah,
putting for birdie on every hole.
So Max beat him by 2.
Max beat him by 2, and Max is
one of the best players in the world right now. Yeah,
and so Colt and
That's
Joe,
crazy.
dude, and Max,
what the fuck?
And Max played, hit it well. He didn't make a ton of putts. He didn't make really any putts. He made 1 maybe. So he could have putted a little better, but Max still shot 6 under 66 with no blemishes, not even close. And like hits it so good, hits it so much farther than me, than Colt, than Joe, and like Colt can just fire a 4 under 68, no problem.
Golf is cool, man. You can have a guy who's
then
walking around and with a broadcasting backpack and hits a 260 and he loses by 2 to maybe the best player in the world.
It really teaches you that, like, dude, if you can just, like, the whole ride home, I was like, I can be as good as Colt. And I know in my heart of hearts that's not even close to
just
true.
hit every shot perfect.
Never, ever, ever will that ever be close to true. But, like, you, in your mind, you start thinking, like, what is this guy doing that like I'm not? He just literally steps up, swings his driver, 102 miles an hour. It goes dead straight, and with like a 1 yard draw, and then he just hits his iron the right yardage in the middle of the green or at the flag, and like makes a couple putts, and the rest he never 3 putts, and like he just shoots 68. You're like, of course he shot 68.
I used to have that feeling when I would watch Tour Pros, and then after a week of watching Tour Pros, I'm like, it just doesn't look that out of reach. You know what I mean? Like it's just hit my good shots, just do it every time, and then you go out there and you're 2 over through 5, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
And it's funny because Max does put it out of reach. And
Yeah.
we say this a lot about Rory. Like when I watch Rory swing, I'm like, I can't do that. I can never do that.
But it's more for me like the 100 yards and in. They don't swing very hard. They don't.
Yeah.
It's not like, when they're ripping driver 330, that's one thing. But it's just like watching them hit 8 irons really consistently, middle of the green. Like that doesn't look that difficult.
No, and it's funny to think about like how, like Colt and Max pretty much shot almost the same round, but like that would have been an 8-shot victory for Max in a golf tournament.
Yeah.
Right? He would have
Right.
dusted him. Like, even if they had that same score each day, he beats him by 8. That's like he blew him out of the water.
70, yeah, I mean,
but in your face in the moment, it's like they played the same game. Max, I will say, like Max, his ball striking and swing, he was shot making. There are certain, like the first hole,
What course was it?
Whisper Rock, the lower course, which is more of the players' course, the one that Phil designed, the one that all like the better players prefer to play. And dude, Max stepped up on the very first hole and hit like a low, piercing driver on purpose, like squeeze cut that cut like a yard. And like that one's a little bit narrow, a little bit more awkward of a tee shot, I guess. Like I was kind of like trying to pick his brain, but not be the annoying guy that's like interviewing the whole fucking round. We're literally in cart together. And then like he had a few times where he pulled a 3-wood out and just hit this blistering, like with a divot, just missile stinger. And I literally said to him, I was like, you need to announce that next time. I need to get my phone out. Like, this is insane. He's like, I'm just playing around at golf. And his striking ability with the golf ball is so, it's like laughable how good he is at hitting the ball.
Especially right now. You got him at like the peak.
There's no chance it like misses. There's no chance it was going to be not only not in play, like way down there. The first hole he outdrove me by 64 yards.
Jeez. Yeah.
And I hit a pretty good, like, I pulled it a little bit, but even a pull goes farther with my drive. I probably hit it out there 270 or something, and he was like 330, whatever the fuck it was. And you're just looking at Max is unachievable, how good he is at golf. It's almost like if I were to see him play a tournament round next week, he's playing again, and he doesn't shoot 66 or better. I'm like, how is that possible?
He hits every shot perfect.
Every shot's perfect. He hits it up on or near the green in a par 5 in 2 every single hole. Any short par 4, which there's going to be a couple on every par, like he's going to be on or near the green.
And then in the off chance that he does
instantly
miss, it's an unbelievable bunker shot, or it goes
almost
a chance of going
He's like
in.
trying to hole it. So yeah, when you're playing with it, like it's just so automatic. But then you also realize like he's just a person. Like he had the President's Cup bag and all this stuff, and then when he's like on his phone, we're laughing about the same shit on Twitter. He's like tweeting at stuff in real time, and you're like, he's just a human. They're like, now it's his, like, it was just my turn to hit for the last 15 seconds. And now it's just like his turn to hit from the same spot. And we're just going to like keep doing that for 18 times. And then we're just doing the exact same thing. He's just so good at it. It was amazing to watch him hit the ball. And I have to give Colt just the most credit of all time because I can't believe how good he is at golf. It's infuriating how good he is.
Hopefully we can be as good today.
Hopefully.
Our tee time's in 10 minutes.
I don't know about the range.
I'm hitting the range. So
We got time. We're the last group off.
Okay, good.
We're last group off.
Okay, beautiful.
So we got nobody behind us. Sunset is scheduled for 6:53 p.m.
Oh,
I feel like
fine.
that's usually pretty consistent.
Yeah,
It doesn't change.
They figured
it's
that out.
1:20, so if we tee off at 2, we got a good 5 hours at least. We'll be fine.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll move it along.
You know what we're going to be using today out there to play good golf? TaylorMade.
Yep.
TaylorMade. Always.
I shot 78 when I played with those guys from 7,200 yards with a double on 18. I have to give all the credit to my new wedges that I got, my mill grind 3s.
Rangefinder rigs.
Barbuti. I gave Barbuti, and you guys can appreciate this, full control of my stamps on my wedges. I said, hey, I need new wedges. It's been a couple years. I need new MG3s. He goes, no problem. We'll get them sent out to your specs. And I go, is it possible to get creative with him? And he's like, what do you mean by creative? This is when Barbuti took over the whole text chain. It's like Barbuti and Essie. He's like, what do you mean creative? And I was like, I don't know, stamps, something fun. Like, is that like too late? Would that take like months? He's like, no, we could do that within like a week or two. And I was like, unbelievable. He's like, what do you want? And I was like, Barbuti, the more I think about it, why don't you just do it? Like, literally think about me and what I like and just do whatever you want. He's like, you want blues colors? I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right. He came up with rangefinder rigs. On one of them.
Has anyone ever called you that before? What does that even mean?
I don't know. And then he just texts afterwards. I sent him a picture of all the wedges, and he just goes, rangefinder rigs is so good.
It's
Are you
just,
like a big rangefinder guy? Like not more than normal, are you?
I guess.
I mean, good luck getting inside the brain of Michael
I
Butler.
don't want to know.
You know,
That's just who you are now.
I don't want to
You
know.
know?
But anyways, TaylorMade, their gear for the last 2 years, pretty much, we've been decked out. Dan Rappaport is a new TaylorMade guy, and he's loving it, playing phenomenal golf. Lost in a playoff to get into a pretty serious tournament using his TaylorMades for like the second round. He ever
Playing
used
good.
them.
Playing good.
You hit the ball
TaylorMades
a
are great.
mile, by the way.
Yeah, these are good. I like the P7 MCs are money. I really, really like them.
We're going to be going to TaylorMade Media Day in a couple weeks. We're going to be seeing all kinds of new stuff. Some of the best players in the world that rock TaylorMade. Obviously, the number 1 ranked player in the world, Scotty Scheffler, TaylorMade guy. Number 1 driver of the golf ball, probably in the history of the game of golf.
And number 2 in the world.
What's that?
And he's number 2. Number 1 and number 2 right now.
Is he number 2
Yeah,
now?
he's number 2.
Clean sweep at the top for the fellas using the TaylorMade Stealth driver. So point is, if you're not using it and the best players in the world are using it, what are you doing? And then we're also using it. So go check out TaylorMade. I'm going to pull up the link. I think it's TaylorMadeGolf.com/Barstool. Is that right? TaylorMadeGolf.com/Barstool to get your Stealth driver. You can customize your Stealths too. Matt Barzal, if you haven't seen the video that we put up on our YouTube channel, who's an extremely hot guy.
I think I said it too many times.
Yeah, but you meant it.
I think I said he's hot too many times. I was watching the clips.
Too
and
many
I was,
times for what?
I was thinking about him watching those back, being like,
I'm never going to talk to that guy
Trent,
again.
Like, I met him that day. I won't stop talking about how hot he is. I'm sure he gets that a lot, but like, boy, I said it a bunch.
I'm
and
sure
I meant it.
He's probably thinking like Trent's a beauty.
that blue and orange customized Stealth is insane. I mean, now you're starting to see the Stealth's been out for a year. Or maybe has it even been a year?
No.
Probably came out
It's
in like
February.
January, February.
Now you're starting to see the customized ones roll out. I feel like it was always the red face. You saw it. You saw the black and the red. Now, out in the wild, I know Avery from Barstool has. He's like one of our
macrodosing guys.
Macrodicing producer. He's got some crazy colors on his. I think it might have been Rangers colors.
Yeah, I think the customization of the Stealth has gone underreported.
It's gone way underreported. Go on the website, check it out. You're going to get the Stealth anyway, so just customize it.
Yep.
TaylorMadeGolf.com/Barstool. Why carbon? It gives you better energy transfer and faster ball speeds across the face. So TaylorMade.com/Barstool. All right, boys, we're about to go play golf. Let's throw it to our boy, Alfonso Ribeiro, who we described at the beginning of the show. You guys sat down with him. I wasn't there for it, so I'm excited to listen. We'll be back on Thursday for yet another big show. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard. All right, we are now joined by probably the most special guest, the most special recurring guest of foreplay history. I think this is the third or fourth time you've been on the show. Third time.
Third one. I think we did the one in studio, and then we did the one online.
That's right.
That one time.
So we've got the host of America's Funniest Videos and the co-host of Dancing with the Stars, former winner of Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
Alfonso Ribeiro, welcome to the show again. It's always great to see you.
Great to see you guys.
Your energy is unmatched.
Can't wait to see what's going on with everybody's swing.
Oh.
Well, Frankie actually, he brought this up to me right before we started. He has gone through some serious mental changes in his game, and it was inspired by you.
I think you led me on that road to see, all right, if the technical stuff isn't really there,
right,
maybe there's something else that I need to go pursue.
Of course.
So I started this series called Fixing Frankie. It hasn't come out yet. I feel like it's going to be that, like, where we just keep saying this series.
Just
and it's
hasn't
never going to
come
come out yet. It's almost, what talk show host always said Matt Damon was going to come out?
Oh, I think it was
Jimmy Kimmel?
Kimmel,
Yeah, so that's going to be my Fixing Frankie series. But I went to go see this guy, Dr. Brett McCabe.
Okay.
And he works with John Rahm. He works with Billy Horschel. He works with all these athletes, pitchers, whatever. And we really just talked out just my game and my decision making and what am I thinking over a chip. And it unlocked something. I'm telling you, the next day when I went on the course with him, the game felt easier. I was thinking in the right mindset. I wasn't getting down. Every time I'd duff a chip or I'd hit one sideways, he'd be like, who cares? Let's think about the next shot.
Right.
And why are you thinking negatively? Or where are you aiming on the shot? Why are you trying the hero shot? Let's get the ball to the middle of the green so that your expectations aren't as high. And then all of a sudden your goals become easier to reach. So
absolutely.
It was crazy. And I went from a 10-5 handicap to a 4-9 I'm currently in one summer.
And a lot of it is process, right?
It's process. So standing behind the ball, looking at my target. And then for me, It was
See small, miss small.
yes, but also
Right.
my personality. I'm so just eccentric and I'm crazy and I like to like curse at myself and scream. And then he said, "Let's use that. Let's not change who you are."
Right.
Before your shot, why don't you loudly say what you're trying to do? Speak it out loud. I'm trying to hit this ball over this bunker right now.
Right.
Tell the people. So it's almost like you're about to show them something.
Of course.
And it worked.
Yes.
When I'm to
Yes.
myself, it doesn't work.
So that's very much like Tom Watson, right? He used to hit a bad shot, and the first thing he would say to his caddy is, "Watch this," because he's like, "I'm about to do this next one is going to be amazing."
Yeah.
Right. So it's automatically taking a negative and turning it immediately into a positive.
Right.
And then taking that energy all the way from where you are to the ball to the process to then hitting the shot
Right.
that you're going to hit something special. Now, Tom Watson's going to hit something. Watch this meant I was going to do something really amazing.
Right.
But the process of it all,
all relative.
is
Right.
like, hey, this next one's about to be great.
Yes.
Because the odds are that it's like you mess up and then you get a good one.
Right.
Right.
So let's focus on the good one.
I found it very interesting that, like he said, he works with John Rahm, Dr. Brett McCabe,
Right.
and you don't want to change who John Rahm is. You watch John Rahm on the golf course,
Yes.
he's fiery. He's
Right.
hot under the collar. He
Right.
can get frustrated. And Dr. Brett McCabe's not going to change that because he was the number one player in the world for a long time.
Right.
Like, you don't want to change him so much that he's no longer John Rahm, the potential number one golfer in the world. I thought that was really interesting. You still got to be yourself out there.
You have to be who you are.
Right.
Right? Because your authentic self will always show up when you're not thinking.
right.
Right? Like when you're thinking about something, you can maybe be somebody else. But when you're just out there doing it, you're going to be you.
So true.
So how do you use that? How do you it's when you play tournaments, right? You see guys do a completely different setup, completely different morning. They the routine is different, and then you go, well, how'd you play? I played really badly. Wonder what changed.
Yeah.
Right? Your
Right.
routine changed, right? So this year, right? Tahoe. I was like, every year I grind before Tahoe, right? And for some reason I would get up there and the worst game would show up.
Yep.
And I'd be like, what? So this year I was like, I'm not going to play golf before Tahoe. And just go up there, practice the days before, and play the tournament and just be like, whatever. And I said to myself, I was like, hey, Al, guess what? You probably have the best time of your life right now. Like, you have the job that you want, the next job that you wanted, and life is great. The kids are great. The family's great. Who cares
Yep.
what happens up here this week? My best finish in the last like 7 years.
There you go.
It's mindset.
Right? And it was just because when you hit a bad shot, you're like, I ain't been playing.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
Right? So
You
the
have a
expectations
reason.
were like, I got a reason in my mind.
Yes.
I haven't been playing. So it's fine. It's okay that I didn't hit the perfect shot every shot like I did at home. It's a different circumstance. Now let's hit the next one. And it was easier. And I had more fun even when I had a bad shot.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of people will say to me, my buddies in particular, where they're like, you're playing the most golf of your life. How are you having a couple bad holes? Like, you should be playing well every time. Or why are you so mad that you're playing bad? Isn't your handicap at the lowest it's ever been? And I say it's unlocked higher expectations for me now. Like, I know I went out and shot 75 ball in hole. It's the best I've ever played.
Right.
Now than when I shoot an 87, I'm like, well, I just lost 12 strokes on my best game. Now that my potential is so much more than it ever had been. So that's a new struggle that I'm dealing with.
So now if I'm doing coaching,
Here we go.
again,
Yes.
right? Like, a guy goes out and shoots 61.
Mm-hmm.
How often does he back that up?
Yeah, once in a lifetime, right?
Right?
Very
Yeah.
rarely.
He typically will shoot 71, 72 the next day, right? Because I've always felt like golf is like, well, you're going to have this many great holes this year. And sometimes they get clumped together, and sometimes the bad one gets clumped together, right?
Yeah.
So you might have a day every once in a while, like you have a day where it's like, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
I have no clue who that guy was on the golf course today.
Yep.
But guess what? Tomorrow, it's going to be the guy I know. Because that happens. It happens to the best of them. It happens to Tiger. It happens to Jack Nicklaus. It happened to Arnie. It happens to Rahm. It happens to the best of them.
Right.
They go out and they have a great day, and you'll see it every once in a while, even in the middle of a round. Guy has it going, and all of a sudden he hits one bad shot, and it's like, uh-oh. Can he get it back, or does he lose it for the rest of the round? And you see it all the time. So it's like, you have bad days. It's allowed. It's okay.
When you're playing in Tahoe, we were talking to a couple of guys at the President's Cup down in Charlotte. Like, it's a different game for them when they have adrenaline going, as opposed to when they're playing on a Thursday at 9:30 and no one's watching them. Do you feel like have you gotten to the point where you're used to that and being able to harness? Because now all of a sudden you're at Tahoe, it's a huge event, there's fans everywhere. You're obviously a very recognizable person on there, so you're drawing a lot of eyeballs. Have you been able to harness that like energy? And do you have two different games now?
So I recognize what I'm feeling now.
Oh, nice.
Whereas there was a time when I wouldn't know what I was feeling, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't concentrate, right? So I would be like, why do I feel overwhelmed? And it was like, oh, because my nerves and this energy. Now I'm able to recognize it and use it as a tool. So, beginning of the round. Hey, Al, take less club.
Yep.
You have adrenaline, right? So let's play to the front edge rather than play to the middle of the green. Because I know that I'm going to hit this ball is going to go further than it normally does for 2 holes.
That makes a huge difference.
Right? When it's tournament, right? And then you've used up your adrenaline. You start, like, it's something as simple as looking at your hand. Is it shaking?
Oh,
Is it steady?
Oh, yeah.
Do you put your hand in your pocket and it feels easy? Or is it like, is there tension? Right? All of those things that you become totally aware of your feelings, because now I am comfortable. This is what it is. I'm going to walk out there and there will be,
It's experience.
1,000 people at the first tee watching. What is it going to feel like? And you go, all right, it's there today. So let's play to the front edge.
That's like guys on tour will say that same thing. If they're trying to get their first win, it's way harder than the second, third, and fourth because
They don't know.
they didn't know what it felt like the first time.
Right.
And then the second time, they're like, oh, I know what being in contention feels like. I'm over
Absolutely.
this putt, and it feels like it did the first time. I know what that is.
I know what that feels like, and I know what my tendency is.
Right.
So that's real. It's not that. So you'll see it every once in a while, and you'll see the commentators who are really smart and really good at what they do will say, oh, his whole routine has picked up. He's faster, right? Oh, that's a bad sign. Because now that adrenaline is making him play golf differently. When you think about practice like you play, and I use this with my kids all the time because they're in baseball now, and I say practice like you play. Like, I need you pitching the ball to me as if there's a batter standing here and as if you need to make a pitch or you're going to walk this guy. That's how you have to practice every time. And so you create this ease. I noticed it with me that when I'm out hanging out with my boys and I'm just playing golf, I say this all the time to my guys. All right, I'm on 17 in Tahoe. I got to hit a little nice draw into this shot, and it'll be on a hole. And I'm like picturing Tahoe and going, here we go. And as for some reason, it's always easier. So I reversed it. When I got to Tahoe, I got to 17, and I was like, hey, you're on hole 15 at Lakeside. Go ahead and just make a nice smooth swing here. And it's a good shot.
Wow.
Right? I won the closest to the hole Friday. They did like a little outside tournament thing.
Yeah.
And I hit the first one to like 5 feet and the second one to like 3 feet.
Oof.
And it was, I literally had the moment where I was like, you're at 8. When you're at Lakeside, I was on 6. And I was like, this is perfect 6. Just draw this one right into the cup. And visualize the hole and then get up and hit the shot. And it works. It works in your mind. This game is all here. Once you build your swing is your swing.
Yep.
Right? And you can get it better, but that takes time. But when you get this between your ears to work properly, it's the greatest game ever.
It's really hard to cancel subscriptions, fellas.
Very hard.
Pretty much impossible. You even know how many subscriptions you have at this point. I mean, 35 years old. It's probably been 15 years I've been signing up for subscriptions at least.
Rocket Money found that I had a subscription that I forgot about. I like signed up for Discovery Plus or something like that because the Taylor Hawkins Foo Fighters tribute concert was live on Discovery
Fighters.
Plus.
Oh yeah, the auto renew will get you.
And then I was like, oh yeah, I'll just sign up to watch this. And then all of a sudden just forgot to cancel. And Rocket Money's like, a new transaction has been detected and you're now subscribed to this. Do you want to cancel? And I just hit cancel and it canceled for me.
It's an unbelievable app. The app shows all your subscriptions in one place, cancels what you don't want for you. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't know you were paying for. Shout out to us. It's got to be us. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money does the rest. That seems incredibly easy. Cancel unnecessary subscriptions with Rocket Money today. Go to rocketmoney.com/4. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/4.
One of the things we really worked on that was interesting was on the range. My first couple of swings, I was getting frustrated when the ball wasn't going where I wanted to go. And he said, let's have 2 different range sessions. One to warm up. I don't care where the ball goes. Just swing and get loose. He goes, if you watch a pro range session, they don't care where the first 10 or 15 go. They're just talking to their caddy. They're talking to their teacher, and they're just hitting balls sideways, long. They're just loosening up their arms.
Right.
And then every shot from then on out, once you're done and you're stretched out, let's actually have a process and a thing that we're trying to accomplish on the range. I never used to do that. I try and get the ball in the air. That's all I try and do in the range.
Right.
So I'll do that now, and I'll hit the ball, and then I'll say, all right, you're on the first tee, and I know the first tee at Colonial has trees on the left and trees on the right, and I picture it, and my drive is always like worse or different like than they were right before I actually envisioned that, because now all of a sudden there's pressure involved.
Right.
And there's a target. So, you know, to all, I mean, and I get messages about this from all our listeners, like they're starting to take these mental practices onto the range and when they practice, because like you're saying, you have to practice like you play. That applies to golf more than anything.
More than any other
When do we ever just hit the ball on a golf course and don't care where it goes? We care every inch of where
shot.
It goes. Right.
And not just the direction,
right,
but specifics.
Right.
Right? Like this far on this line.
Exactly.
Right? So the one of the things that I started to really changed my game. I feel like my game is the best right now that it's ever been in terms of being able to take breaks and still be able to go out and play.
Wow.
Right? Because I used to just grind all the time, right? And never really stop hitting balls. Now I can stop for a month, come out, and shoot 73, 74. Right? Because I built a swing now that I know what has to happen. And I have a go-to shot.
What is it?
Draw.
Okay.
Right? So
you hit it every time?
I can hit a draw whenever I want. So for me, it's, hey, this is a hard hole. What's your shot shape? It's a draw. Comfortable. I know I can hit it. Right? I set up, ball there, slight closed face, go ahead and let the hands drop, swing through it. That ball's going left.
Yeah.
Right? So when I see water on the right, I'm like, perfect. This ball is nowhere near that water where it ends up.
Right.
I'm going to start it inside the water in case it don't. But, right? Like, don't be mad at yourself. Be like, well, why'd you aim for the water? I don't aim for it. Aim inside of it. But I know that the ball's moving away from the water. And it just, when you know that and you have that shot, now there's no tension. So on a draw, tension will not let you draw the ball because you won't release.
Right.
I see.
You'll hold on.
Yeah.
And tension has you holding on. So now you hit a block. Right? So I know that I've got to be relaxed to hit that draw. So I make sure that I'm relaxed before I stand over that ball, and I know it's going to draw. So I've created this by practice. Practice where I'm on the driving range and I'm like, that pin out there is water.
Right.
Every shot for the next 10 shots has to be left of that pin.
It helps a lot.
I'm started at the pin, but every one of them have to go left. And so now when you get on the course,
you've eliminated half of the golf course essentially.
Yes, I've eliminated the trouble.
Right.
That's what Butch Harmon taught DJ, right?
Yes.
He stopped.
Yes.
He said, "Stop hitting multiple shapings of your shots. Just hit a draw, or hit a cut."
And DJ's hit a cut. Yes.
Sorry. So DJ hasn't hit a draw in like 4 years or something like
Right.
that, and ever since then, he was number one player in
he
the
was
world at that
he was
point.
unstoppable.
But like the only reason why he wasn't number one was when he would take breaks and take a minute to come back.
Right.
But if you eliminate, now most pros do that. Now they can hit both ways, but they have a go-to.
You have to.
Right? For DJ specifically with Butch, it was Let's never hit a draw.
Yes.
But for most players, it's what's your go-to? When you stand on a tee box, what do you see?
Right. Rory just hits that towering, that draw.
Right?
It's
Towering.
insane.
Right. And where he gets in trouble is when he tries to hit a cut.
Yep.
Right? The minute he tries to hit a cut, some things might...
It's trouble.
Because his natural transition is a fall. If that hands fall, that natural transition that he has is always going to produce a draw. And the only difference is he hits a hold off, and then it actually ends up being more of a block than ever a cut.
Right.
So, right, but it's know your tendencies.
Yep.
Know your best shots, know the quality of your shots, and know what the missing is, right? So one time I had this kid, he's a young aspiring pro, right? And he caddied for me at an event. And he taught me something I'd never seen. His name is Trip Morris, and he's working with James Morris, his real name, but we call him Trip. And he's working toward trying to get to the tour. And he goes, okay, here's what we're going to do. And this was brilliant. He goes, all right, 5%, 10% rule. Meaning that if you're in the fairway, we're going to figure out what the 5% miss is. Because that's what your miss should be out of the fairway. Out of the rough, we're calling it a 10% miss, right? So you've got 150 yards in the fairway. 5% of that, right, is what?
You're gonna Trent, can you answer that question?
5% of 150?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You're not gonna trip
we're
me
just
up on
not a
some
math
basic
podcast.
math.
Well, by the way, 10% would be 15, so
Okay.
we go
It's
7.5.
not helping.
7.5.
Okay.
So
That was not-
7.5
that was
yards, 7.5 yards in all directions of the pin. Now, when you look at the green, where's your miss? Right? So if the pin is 4 yards from the right edge, you can't aim at the pin. You got to aim 3 or 4 yards left of the pin. Because if you accidentally hit it right, the 5-yard miss is on the edge of the green.
Right.
If it's short, that puts you on the green. You got to then hit a couple extra yards because the 5% miss. The goal is to get it on the green. When we're playing in the tournament, we're playing in the Hilton Grand Vacations tournament down in Orlando. And he caddied for me, and he was like, okay, so we're not going at that pin today. I was like, why are we not going at that pin? I got 102 yards to it. He goes, yeah, but if you do the 5% miss, there's a drop-off right before the pin, right of it. If you hit the drop-off, you're going all the way down to the bottom of that hill, and that's the worst place that you can be to that pin because you can't actually then get it close, even if you're chipping.
Right.
So we need to go left of it, and we need to go 3 yards long of it. I was like, okay, right? And then the pro in our group and the other celebrity, we're all down there.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was brilliant. And then the 10% rule, if you're in the rough, because that's a typical miss out of the rough,
Right.
you figure out where the actual pin for you on that shot is, because sometimes it's not the pin because of the miss factor. Changed the way that I saw the game from that point forward, because now everything is, I'm not necessarily going at that pin. I'm going where I have the best percentage of where I can hit this green that will allow me an easy putt. Now, sometimes that might be, it's sometimes better to miss the green
Right.
than to be above it, side, whatever.
Yeah.
But being able to come up with that 5-10% rule I was like, dude, that was brilliant. It was brilliant because I hit more greens in regulation than I ever had, ever in any tournament.
Right.
Because I was just putting it on the green. We were putting it in a safe spot on the green, allowing my putter a chance to either save me, do something great, or protect me. And it was the best playing, and it changed the way that I saw how to play in tournaments.
It's very similar to a decade ago.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is there any, because you know more about it than I
Scott
do.
Fawcett is a teacher, and he worked with Will Zalatoris, and he works about, basically it's every shot has like that has a chart to it where it could go a little bit to the left, it could go a little bit to the right, and he finds out how many yards from the center of that shot you can go, and he finds you a target, and that's off the tee, it's off the fairway
Absolutely.
shots onto the green.
Yep.
And yeah, Scott Fawcett's turned into kind of a wild boy on Twitter, and he gets himself into some trouble, but his actual process is incredible.
Right.
It's incredible the way that he can work it, and it's very similar to the 5 and 10%.
I need to pay attention to him. But
Yeah, you will. He's got all these seminars and stuff, and all these pros. I mean, we talked to Kisner about it. They all abide by his actual.
Stuart Sink uses it. He got a couple wins recently.
They abide.
Yeah.
They go
Last
by
season.
his process, and he's kind of like up in your face about it, being like, "I fixed the game of golf. I changed it. No one's ever been thinking about the game this way. Give me all the praise." And it's like kind of annoying.
Right.
I actually worked with him on fixing Frankie. He's a great guy. Like when you're with him, it's great. But yeah, I brought him out to our course, and the first 4 or 5 holes, I just played my way, and I went like bogey, bogey, par, bogey, and then we played the decade golf way, and I went par, par, birdie, birdie, par, and it was insane. It was like we were talking. The game just got so much easier.
If you create the proper thoughts over every shot, the miss becomes so much better. And the game of golf is about your misses and not about your great shots.
You have to prepare for the misses.
You have to. You try to hit a great shot and prepare for the miss.
So Will Zalatoris was always going. He was always laying up on like par 5s and then trying to get really close or going towards pins. And he wasn't making as many birdies. He definitely wasn't making that many eagles. And Scott Fawcett taught him how to like go for the middle of the green in 2 and just like rip it to the center. And then ever since then, Will made the most eagles he ever made in his career. He was making the most
Almost won the
birdies.
Masters.
He almost won the Masters. He's like,
all
because
over
he
it.
unlocked something that he hadn't done because he was preparing. Even if I miss going for it, I'm still in the same spot that I would have been had I laid up.
Right.
So like you're preparing for that miss.
Anytime you can eliminate a shot,
Yes.
that's a shot you've eliminated.
Yes, you have to.
Right?
That's huge.
I mean, it's as stupid as what I just said, but it's exactly that. I used to always go for it on par 5s.
Yep.
Par 5s, man, I'm hitting this driver as hard as I can so that I have a little less on the next one to try to get it there in 2. And even if I can't get there in 2, is my chipping game better than my 120 yards out game? Right?
You gotta think it is, right?
Right?
Like,
You'd have to think that I could get it inside of, more often than not, from 20 yards than I could from 110, 120. Right?
Yep.
Like you have to believe in that. And by the way, and if that's not the case, now you know what to work on.
Right.
It's real simple when you practice, where am I going today? I'm going to chip. I'm going to pitch, because that's the area that I have the ability today to actually make a difference. My game has always been I could hit the ball far. And then I would be afraid to go for it in 2. And then I was like, that's stupid. Like you need to, because I couldn't chip.
right.
I learned how to chip. Now whatever.
You've said that so many times in the past. Now that you've gotten fixed, but you would be like, I would be more comfortable hitting a 110 shot than a 60
I used to avoid it. I used to avoid hitting.
Me too.
And now that I have a more full game, I wait for that opportunity to have like a 35-yard over a bunker chip. I know I'm going to zip it right next to the pin.
You feel comfortable
I
with
just
it.
feel comfortable with this. So
Right.
that unlocks more than just that shot. It unlocks a shot before, like
And
you're
the shot
saying,
before that.
and the shot before that, because like now I'm more aggressive, or I can even be less aggressive, and I know my next shot's going to be really close to the pin. It's just changed my whole game and my whole outlook on where I'm going to try and attack. You know what I
can
mean?
be aggressive with your driver because your second shot, even if it's from the trees, you could get it to 35
Exactly.
yards.
That's exactly
and know
right.
that you can still get up and down.
That's exactly right.
Right? That you're not putting yourself behind on a shot necessarily. Maybe you won't be able to make birdie,
Right.
but you know you can make par and completely eliminate the double as long as you keep it in the park.
100%.
Right? So that's always like being aggressive. You have to time it. You have to do it at the right time, but be aggressive.
Yeah.
Go hit that thing. Right? Like I stand on the tee box and I'm very rarely, unless I know that there's real danger by hitting the driver, man, let's go rip.
Yeah.
Let's go rip, baby. We about to smash and grab. Let's go. You know, and smash it. And then, okay, I hit it great. Now I'm in position.
Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't hit it great. All right.
Yeah.
I get out of trouble. I can move the ball however I want. So if I need to keep it low underneath some branches, or I need to, I will hit the shot and I'll get it to a comfortable yardage and then I'll get on. But you ain't gonna make eagles
No.
unless you're going.
Right.
Boys, would you pay a tennis instructor to improve your putting game?
No.
No.
Hard no.
Would you want to get your hair cut by someone not trained in men's hair?
No.
No.
The stylists at Sport Clips have you covered. They're specifically trained to deal with guys' hair so you can sit down in the chair with confidence. While you're there, ask for the MVP haircut experience. Comes with a hot steam towel infused with a blend of essential oils, lavender, chamomile, eucalyptic, all specially formulated for your relaxation. The experts in men's hair.
That's what you need.
The MVP experience.
Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair, the experts in men's hair. Again, you don't want to be going to a place that they simply don't have their expertise in men's hair. You want to go somewhere where they exclusively focus on you, a man, and the hair that you're going to get cut. That is our very good friends at Sport Clips. So go check them out. Go get the MVP haircut experience. Go get that hot steam towel infused with a blend of essential oils. Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair.
You quickly mentioned before that you haven't been playing as much golf. You said you can go off for a month and you can still get to your game. What's your schedule been like? I know you got, America's Funniest Videos. You got Dancing with the Stars. You seem like you're very, very busy. Are you the busiest you've ever been right now?
Probably the most, the busiest in terms of multiple shows,
Okay.
right? Like, obviously, when I was doing Fresh Prince, right? Like, it was a 5-day-a-week job, and dancing is not, Dancing with the Stars is not a 5-day-a-week job. It's a 3-day-a-week job, and then AFE is a 2-day-a-week job, right? Which equals the 5. but AFE is not every week. Right. So I do have more time, but because it's the beginning of Dancing with the Stars for me, I'm putting a lot of extra effort into really making sure that each week I am fully prepared and ready, and I'm building relationships. I feel like at the beginning of this show, like, my job is I'm doing the interviews, right? So I'm up in the skybox and I'm talking and giving the contestants an opportunity for them to sell themselves to America, but I got to know them, and they also have to be comfortable with me. And so we need our inside jokes, and we need our time. You can only do that with time with those people. The only time I have, because of their rehearsal schedule, is Sunday. So Sunday I go in and I just sit there all day, and each group comes in, hang out with them for a little bit. They go away, the next one comes in, and all day long I'm building these relationships, and I'm learning information, and I'm going back to the producers and I'm saying, ooh, they were telling me about this. I think that's a better question than what we have planned. So let's incorporate that into because they really want to talk about that, and they light up when they're talking about it. So the golf game is right now on pause, but in a few weeks it'll be where I'm able to get back out there a bit more. Right now I've kind of gotten like 2 rounds in the last month. And that for me is like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's fine. But this new swing, it wasn't like necessarily a change in the swing, but it was a trigger in my swing, has allowed me to take time off and come right back, right? I'm really focusing on my lower body. My upper body does what it does. I've got great hands. I've got the ability to get the club back to the ball however I want to bring it in there. So I can hit my cut, I can hit my draw, I can manipulate the hands however I want in the swing. But really getting this lower body turning and going before. There's a very interesting story how I got to this. So became friends with Nick Faldo. At AT&T this year, we're up in Pebble Beach, and we're texting back and forth. We're like, hey, let's go to dinner, right? So we go to dinner and we have a great night, and we're talking, and he's talking a little bit about swing, but mostly about life. The next day,
He's
he
an
comes onto the
interesting
range.
cat, Nick Faldo.
And he's great. He's great. We get to the range the next day, and I'm on the range, and he walks up and he's like, all right, let's see it. Right? And I'm like, oh goodness. So but I'm hitting it decent, right? Not great, but decent. And I'm hitting, and he then proceeds to give me a 45-minute lesson.
Wow.
The day before the first round.
That's tough.
Right? And he's changing 15 things. And you're like, oh God, what do I say?
Right.
Right? And my caddy, who happens to be a pro, a club pro, is like, so after he leaves, he goes, how much of that are you planning on using? Because that could be a problem. I was like, 2 things.
Okay.
I'm using 2 things of that. I'm going to do this and that. And really it was, I'm going to set the lower body on the takeaway, really set the knee, and I'm going to drag the club away, which will give me some extension. And I played great, right? Made the cut. My pro, Brian Gay, and I was off in the way I said this at one of the functions. It was like he was 6 over and we were 22 under, right?
Yeah.
like that means that I played really well, right?
Jeez.
But it was actually, but those numbers are not represented properly because he also had a 9 on a hole that I made birdie.
Sure.
Right.
So there were holes where he blew up and I would cover us, and I made a bunch of birdies and he made a bunch of birdies because he had Jekyll and Hyde golf.
Yeah.
Right. And so what would happen is he'd make a birdie and then he'd make a bogey. But on those bogeys, I was making par. Right. So I helped the team, but not necessarily with the birdies. So that move. But with getting that information from Nick, it fixed all of the little issues that I used to have with my swing that I had to have reps to actually be good at. Right? To be able to get past those little things that would have made me better. He fixed all of those. So now the swing I don't need the reps to stay in timing.
Right.
The timing's just there.
Yeah.
Right? The lower body starts, and then when it stops, the hands and everything else finishes. It's like it just made it easy. So I give Nick Faldo a ton of credit for the fact that now I can take breaks, and it works.
It's also a credit to you to find the two things in everything that he was telling you, because that's a lot of information.
It was a lot of information.
But you found the two things that helped you, and that's huge.
Yes, and it was great, and it was fantastic. Right.
It's amazing. We were in Scotland right before the Open, and we worked with this guy. I worked with this guy, Chris Ryan, who's he's an Englishman. I think he was English, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. But he basically just popped up on this driving range, and he is like famous on YouTube for teaching people really quickly how to fix their game.
Okay.
And it's amazing what you're saying, like just that one steadiness of the lower body, and then like the sweeping motion. Chris Ryan essentially taught me to get my club to his hand. He'd catch my hand, and then everything from here is just going to happen on its own.
Right.
So get it here, and it's just going to drop, go through the ball. You're going to hit up on it, and you're going to hit a bomb.
Right.
And I've thought of that every single time I've taken the club back. I picture him standing there, and I just get my club to his hand.
Right.
I can feel it. I can see him. I can feel him grabbing the club still to this day.
And obviously, if your weight is in the right spot, then you have nothing to fix.
Exactly.
Right? Like the first thing, whenever I see somebody, the first thing I look at are their hips. Right? And on the takeaway, whatever the back hip would be, whether you're righty or lefty, so if you're righty, your right hip, lefty, your left, does the hip rotate or go up?
Right.
If the hip goes up, you have a slice.
Yep. I did that forever.
If the hip rotates and stays level, you can hit either one.
Right.
And so whenever you're looking at somebody, I'm like, did the hip go up? Oh, the hip's up. You're hitting a slice. And so then you go, let me work with this feeling of, and Drew Steckel gave me this feeling of take your right butt cheek straight back, and that will rotate your hips. Right? So this butt cheek is going this way, then it can't go this way. So you rotate, and now you're locked in as long as your right knee doesn't go straight.
Yeah.
Right? It can straighten up a little bit, but as long as you have some tension on that, now that right leg hasn't become locked. And now from there, it's go.
Right.
And then everything else becomes easy following. So between the two, right, of making that go back and not up, but then using my upper body to sway off with this dragging motion, has created length without this getting outside my right foot thing that I used to happen all the time for me.
Folks, the last question brought to you today by our very good friends at CrossCountry Mortgage. Go see if you qualify today. Visit ccm.com/barstool now. Stable monthly payments, low to no down payments. They're Frankie's best friend at this point.
That's right.
We love CrossCountry Mortgage. They love bringing you the final question, the last question of the show. Loan options tailored to your financial capabilities. CrossCountry Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029. All loans subject to underwriting approval. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Again, please go visit ccm.com/barstool now.
How do you feel about my boy going to a 10-finger grip on the tee? You got like physically sick at that one. He's taking a sip of water.
It's still in its early stages. We played a 4-man scramble against the Colorado Avalanche, Stanley Cup champions, and this guy Cale Makar.
So they're golfers?
They're golfers.
No, they're not golfers.
They're
go ahead.
pretty good.
No.
But so I can't hit it very far off the tee, And I was like, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to try, because usually I'm interlock. I'm going to try the 10-finger grip. And I did it like 3 or 4 times during that round, and I was pounding the ball.
His ball speed had to have gone up 10 miles an hour. I'm talking instant. Like,
Right.
it was just jumping off it. And we think that it unlocked the 10-finger grip for him, unlocked his right arm and hand coming through the ball as it never had been
I just
before.
feel more athletic that
We
way.
don't know how to now bring that back into interlock, where it's like, what was
here's
he
the
missing
question.
with the
Here's the
original
question.
grip?
Does it need to be interlock? Can it be overlap?
I don't know.
You're doing a 10-finger grip with space in between it, aren't you?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts.
I will start by saying I don't like it.
I think that's fair.
Right? Like,
Yes.
that's not for me, right?
Yeah.
Because what you're ultimately doing is you're making a right-handed. If you're right-handed, you're making a right-handed golf swing, and it's the right hand, in my opinion, should absolutely be involved in the swing. It shouldn't be completely passive, but it's a timing issue.
Right.
That when you get off, you're going to be light years off.
I've done it a couple of times.
Right? Versus trying to, and golf to me is about small misses, right? So you want to do this to your misses, not this to your misses while gaining this. Because yes, it's important to get that, but golf is played on a golf course. It's not played on a driving range, right?
Right.
So the 10-finger grip, especially if it's you're creating this more of a hockey, right?
Yeah.
Swing versus a golf swing. But where that speed is coming from is in this.
Yep.
Right? You might as well not even have a left hand on the club.
Agreed.
Right? You just bam, right? Sorry for hitting the mic. Bam, you can hit that all day long, right? But it's going to go.
Are you saying I should do that?
No.
Okay.
What I'm saying is the overlap will still allow you to still have some feeling in the right hand, but not be complete with the right hand, because this dragging,
Yeah.
right, is where extension comes from, right? And extension is speed. You just haven't tapped into what parts of your body your energy needs to come from.
Right.
Not necessarily, like, we all play baseball, right? So if you play baseball, you want to feel your hands. Golf isn't about feeling the hands. It's about knowing where the hands are. Okay?
It's amazing that Alfonso Ribeiro is the greatest golf coach that we have on the show. For
sure.
It's fucking hilarious.
For sure.
But
There's comedy in
right?
that.
So
is there
it's
not?
the drag, right? it's length, it's body, right? So I used to do this in the beginning, and we'll kind of move away from the mic just for a second to do this, right?
We're on YouTube.
So,
People can see.
grab my hand, right? Now, if I'm doing it with my hands, I have a certain amount of power,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If I do it with my body,
It's a lot more.
okay?
It's a lot more.
So because I do it with my body, that pulling motion, right, is so much more powerful. The problem is that you don't know how to time it.
Yep.
So you can time this because you've done it your whole life. But it's about this pull motion. If your left hip, and it's very simple, if your right hip goes back at the takeaway and your left hip comes through on the swing, now once your left hip stops going back, that's when the upper body and everything else continues. But you're using your entire left side.
Yeah.
If you'll notice, whenever you see DJ or whoever, some of the bigger hitters, they work the Smith bar big time. They're constantly, you see Lexi, right, working in the gym. She's constantly working on this because you're building your lats. You're building your abs, your left side abs. You're building your left hip. You're building your left quad. And that is where all of this speed really comes from. And then you just release this,
Yeah.
right? Whereas bang. Bang feels good now.
Yeah.
You can't control it.
Stop
No,
banging.
the 10-finger grip. I know that it's dirty. There's some dirty, like it's wrong.
You can't control it.
Nope.
So you're trying to do something that feels good,
Feels great.
right? It feels good,
Uh-huh.
but you're not going to play better golf with it.
Yeah. You're right.
Because now what happens, what do you do on a chip shot?
I know.
We've only used it off the tee, right?
Yeah.
So, like this disease hasn't spread through the whole.
Well, it's a good thing it didn't spread.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, you can take down the whole city. We can take us all
I'm
out.
telling you, though, it feels so damn good.
It
That
feels
bang
good.
is not worth
But
it.
every
No.
once, but you know, my wife could say to you, you know, everything that feels good ain't a good thing. So it you know, it might feel good, but it
Yeah.
ain't. It's not a good thing
You're right.
because you're hurting other aspects of the golf swing for the one thing that you're gaining,
sip of
which
that
is
water,
distance.
Trent, you
But
know?
there's other ways to get distance that will also support the rest of the golf swing.
No more.
I know. I'm just always thinking about my second shot. I want to be hitting a 7 or an 8 iron as opposed to a 5 or a 6.
We're doing this
That-
Breaking 90 series. We did Breaking 100. Trent
Right.
accomplished it. We're
Okay.
doing Breaking 90. It's ball and hole, USGA rules, and we're at what, episode 9 now.
Yeah.
It's an amazing series because it's a dude just going out there to try and break 90.
Right.
And
I love that.
and we get a lot of comments and a lot of people like are on this journey with us, but they're all saying like, oh, like move him up, like stop playing from 6,400, play from 5,800, and stop playing from 70 par 72, play a par 70. It's like,
Yeah, but that's
but we're saying like he's just going to get better. We're not going to try
Right.
and like move him closer
Right,
to the hole
right.
because at that point we could just put him on the
yes,
green. And
Yeah.
just,
By the way,
Let's do
we're
mini
not
golf.
even teeing off anymore.
Right, so-
you know what? We're going to putt and he broke 90.
so that's one debate that we've been having. And the other one is like, well, how do we get him more distance because he is hitting on par 4s from 200 yards out, and it's too
Right.
much for him because he's hitting only 220 off the tee sometimes.
Right.
And it's like, well, now it's like breaking 90 is actually pretty difficult from back there because a par 4 is not that easily reached from 210 when a guy's only hitting 220 off the tee.
Right,
So we're
right.
trying to figure out ways to get more because he has it there. The guy's fucking huge. He's an athlete. I
Right.
mean,
I am.
he's got the good swing too.
It's so. I'm not sure I mentioned this one of the first times I think I was here. I talked about. Remember when you were a kid and you'd whip with the towel,
Yeah.
right? I find that to be one of the best drills for golf. So you get the towel, you wrap it up, right, and you get a thing, and then you go whap, whap, right? And you feel this flip at the end of your hand, and this is not what you're going to do in a golf swing, but what you are feeling is the end of that towel,
Lag.
right? You're feeling something in space. So if you're able to feel something in space with your left hand, what you're also going to be able to do is know where the head of that club is. So if you know where the head of the club is, you know how to help get more whip at the bottom because you're aware of something that's in space.
Yeah.
Once you're aware of it in space, you can go faster because you know where it is. What happens when people who don't know where the head of the club is and they go faster, they hit it further right because they get out in front of it. Your right hand going to your 10-finger grip is, I know where it is because I feel it here
holding it, yeah.
and I'm holding it tight and I'm whipping it at the ball. So I don't need to know where this is in space. I know where my hand is. If you know where the head of the club is in space with your left hand, you will gain speed. Eventually, you will gain speed because you know where it is. You can make adjustments as the club is coming down. And you also get to know the whip, right? So I'm going to whip harder. So to whip it harder doesn't mean you throw your hands harder.
No.
You whip it harder. Okay. Why does that work in the golf swing? Because when each body part stops, the next one continues all the way to the head of the club. You load, your hips go. Hips stop. Body turns. Body reaches a point where it can't go anymore, and the hands release. Right? So through the swing, as things are stopping, each one gains more power. Each one gains more speed as long as you don't stop one in between. They all have to, what I mean by stop one is,
Yeah.
is not have it reach the end of its life.
Yeah.
Right? It has to all work all the way to wham. And then it's catching back up over here. But those hips, I showed you how much more power by turning the body.
So much more.
Now I got lag. Right?
Yeah.
Now that lag is going to create so much more speed at the bottom because when it finally goes, it's all going. You're not releasing some of the energy along the way.
Yeah.
Right? Being right-handed, you're creating this whip at the bottom. You're doing what I'm telling you to do, but you're doing it with the wrong hand. Let's create the whip in the left hand, not in the right. and that will create a bang at the bottom by rotating until it stops. You can't rotate with your right
We
hand.
gotta get you a
I want to
towel.
swing a golf club so bad.
We gotta get you a towel first. I know we're running a little late and he's got to go. I mean, we could talk golf. For,
I know,
can.
I know, man.
legitimately 5 hours. We
Yeah,
can just
yeah,
keep
legit,
doing
legit.
this. But we know you got AFV out. You've got Dancing with the Stars. When is this all airing? So
AFE starts October 2nd.
So it's coming right up.
Right, coming right up. We premiere on ABC Sunday nights at 6 Central. And every Monday night, we are live streaming, the first live streaming television show ever on Disney Plus is Dancing with the Stars, and it's 7 Central. Live across the country. You know, it used to be if you lived in California, you had to watch it at 8 o'clock,
Oh, right, yeah.
And they would delay it and you couldn't vote. This is live it's to everybody in the U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico. And it's the first ever. And it's so now because it's streaming, there's no commercials. So it's a 2-hour show that is jam-packed of dancing, of fun, comedy, good times, heartfelt stories, all of it in one.
Amazing.
incredible.
It's a good time.
Awesome.
We're looking forward to seeing you again.
Always a pleasure.
We'll be
my
down
man.
in Orlando, right? We're going to be in Orlando.
Yes, we will
So
be
we'll
back
see
down
you
there.
Down at the
Yes.
Hilton.
Yeah.
We'll be
Well,
down
I'm
there.
hoping I can. I've already put the dates into my team.
Okay, good.
And I'm like, please,
Right.
please, I'd like to play in it again. I
Yeah.
really do love it.
Yeah.
So hopefully I get to see you guys and come hang out. And I would love to maybe we can go out and do a practice round.
Yes.
If you're there, and I'll take a look at it also. I'm not a real swing coach, but I think I do know enough that I can,
For sure. Kidding me?
assist in what you're trying to go for.
Yep.
Right? Like, you can't teach somebody to have good hands, but you can teach them to have a good body, to use their body. And that is it's a very simple way to help people in their golf swing.
We'll
so
have
I'd
to
love
do that for
I'd
sure.
love to play with you guys.
Thanks
Awesome.
again, Alfonso.
Yeah, and to see
Appreciate
you
it.
now as a 4. Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
child.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Keep doing it. You don't have to give me strokes.